Hey there, welcome to the ByteBeat 3.5 Prisms update roundup. Consider this video as an add-on for the ByteBeat device tutorial, which will provide you with the up-to-date information about your favorite music maker changes in No Man's Sky Prisms update. If you are just finding out about ByteBeats, I suggest that you watch the ByteBeat tutorial first and then return. There should be a link above or check the video description. Okay, so in short, I will cover two major topics here: the ByteBeat device changes and the newly added ByteBeat library. For starters, let's hop into our ByteBeat device UI. Immediately, we can see there's a new slider called Drum Mix on the left-hand side of the melody sequencer. This is basically a volume slider that allows you to adjust the sound volume of your drums separately from the main volume. The highest position represents the lowest value, while the lowest position means that the drums will be the loudest. There's also been a slight change to how volume and distance attenuation work. Previously, we had the option to increase these from 0% to 100% by raising or lowering the values by 10, meaning the range was 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and up to 100. Now that's been slightly reworked, and you can adjust these values to 0%, 17%, 33, 50, 67, 83 and 100%. In essence, now your control over these is more limited, as you have a lower number of values to play with. Now the next change that we are going to talk about is the Drumkit change, the most apparent being the kick drum upgrades. While there's still some less bassy sounds left on the kick drum, you will notice that there's now a selection of presets that have a punch to them and that sound much more bassy. The snare drums also got new selection options, as well as the hi-hats, the latter being less pronounced in my opinion. The drum presets in general now have more fidelity. Furthermore, if you have keen ears, you will notice that the ByteBeat sound quality has improved across the board for most ByteBeat sound samples and waveforms. The next big update to the ByteBeat toolkit can be accessed by opening the quick menu, going to Utilities, and selecting the last option on the right, the ByteBeat library. Its UI is divided into two major sections, the track library and the playlist section. The library section is divided into two tabs, custom tracks and other tracks. At first, custom tracks only consists of empty slots. To fill these up, go to any bass that has a ByteBeat loop playing, no matter whether you built it or not. Select any empty slot and click the Copy from ByteBeat option. Then, when you do that, a Rename Track dialog will pop up that will let you name your track. We'll name ours the X-Files theme. And now we have just added our first track to our ByteBeat library. If I hover over it, I have several options: to add it to my playlist, to rename it, to delete it, or to transfer it to another player. Most of these are self-explanatory, but I will explain how track transfer works. This essentially allows you to share your tracks with whomever is nearby. If there's another player near you, selecting this option will bring a pop-up where you will see all players that are close by. If players are too far away, their names will be tinted in red. What you need to do is simply click and hold on an eligible player's name, and there will be a message saying that you've successfully transferred the tune to them. If you're on the receiving end, the track you receive will appear on the Other Tracks section, where there were 3 tracks put in there by default by Hello Games, which of course can also be added to your playlist. Note that these cannot be removed from the library. When you add tracks to your playlist, they will essentially replace the music in-game, and when in the play mode, they will be playing all the time. As soon as you add the first track to your playlist, a stop and play function will be added to your Utilities menu just before the ByteBeat library that will allow you to play or stop your currently playing ByteBeat tune. Note that if you stop a track and press play to resume it, it will start playing from the beginning, not from where you initially stopped it. Just have in mind that while you can access your playlist while in your ship or on foot, being in an Exocraft will not allow you to access this function. Instead, if you want your songs to play, you'll have to turn on your playlist before you enter a vehicle. One more thing here is that your tunes will probably have a radio effect on them, and you'll hear that they sound slightly different when compared to the sound you originally got on your ByteBeat devices. Now let's go back to our playlist functions. There are several basic buttons to play with. The standard play and stop button that we have just described, the next track button, and the shuffle button. If there are more tracks in your playlist, you will not be able to play them by simply clicking on one of them, but instead you will need to use the next button to cycle through them until you get to the specific track you want to play. The selected track can be easily recognized by the yellow speaker icon next to it. If the play button is active, any selected track will start playing by itself. If the playlist is in stop mode, you will have to press play to activate it. When pressed, the play button will turn yellow. Finally, the shuffle function here will allow your tracks to play at random. Also, when hovering over songs in your playlist, you will have the options to rearrange them by moving them up or down. And of course, there will also be the option to remove tracks you don't want playing. They will be removed only from the playlist and will remain in your library, unless you decide to remove them from there as well. And this basically covers all the ByteBeat changes information I managed to get my hands on. If you'd like to listen to my voice for a bit longer, check out my ByteBeat Switch tutorial. Of course, if music is what you'd like to hear more, take a look at my ByteBeat soundtrack covers. I wish you lots of fun playing with ByteBeats, and I'll be seeing you on the next vid.